Good afternoon, everyone, and welcome once again to my channel. I am here to give you an update about my jade plant in leca. A few months ago, I did a video showing you my jade plant in leca. There's a few things that I've learned along the way, some things that I would have done differently in putting my jade plant in leca. But for the most part, the jade plant is happy and healthy. Someone did ask whether or not my jade plant was how it was doing, and did ask was it growing, and I think I answered to the affirmative, saying yes, the jade plant was actually growing. But when I compared it to old photo that I had of the jade plant when I took it when I initially put it in leca, there hasn't been any growth. So I'm here to rectify that as well. So far there is no growth. That being said, however, during the winter months, succulents on a whole, including jade plant, doesn't actually grow. It goes through a period of dormancy, and it's not until spring that we start to see plants shoot up again. So during the winter months, you don't water your jade unless the leaves are actually drying up. You don't repot, nothing. So I was quite lucky actually having done this during the winter, and the fact that it's it's alive and well. It's actually very, very healthy. And I'll show you now. So this is my jade plant in leca. It's been in leca since January, February, March. So 3 months since it's been in leca. I think I did the video in January, but I had put in leca before I did the video at some point in December. Um, some benefits is that there is no need to constantly be watering or checking if a plant is actually dehydrated, because you know that with the reservoir there is always going to be water there for your plant, and the roots have now become acclimatized to the semi-hydroponic system. So therefore you won't have to worry, because I know that people worry once the root get into the water, will it rot? But this new root that the plant has developed is water roots, so it is well suited for living the semi-hydroponic life, so there won't be any reason to fear. You have to make sure though that you give this fertilizer, because the leca has got no means of fertilizing. It won't keep the fertilizer like soil does. So you have to make sure that each time you water, you add a small amount of fertilizer to the water for the reservoir, to ensure that the plant is getting enough nutrients. I did put some nutrients in the water when I repotted, because obviously it would be devoid of everything had I not done so, and I didn't want any adverse effect for the plant. So I did put some nutrients in the water. Um, Jade plant are normally very fussy. They will shed their leaves if they're not happy, and you'll end up with a skeletal plant void of leaves. So obviously I've done something right with this one. Um, and you know, the only leaves I've lost is the one that I've accidentally broken off while I was cleaning the roots. And one advantage that I notice with using the semi-hydroponic, I don't know if it's because I changed the way I water my plants altogether, because now I'm using rainwater instead of just getting water from the tap to water the plant. You know, that white sediment that tend to build up on the leaves. Most jade plants, you'll see little white sediments on each leaf. That is as a result of the minerals that's in the water being excreted. You don't have this with the semi-hydroponic if you use rainwater. I suppose it's not just semi-hydroponic, it's just the fact that the water that I use is different. I have got a leaf on here that is really badly damaged by the the minerals. I'll see if I can show you. So it's just this one leaf here um, that has been damaged by the minerals. So feeding it tap water. I live in a hard water area, so feeding, watering with tap water, in the end won't be good for your plants. So if by any means you could get yourself a water butt, it's a good idea to get that if you're in a hard water area like I'm in. Um, I have moved the location of this plant because we're now getting a little bit of sunlight. So I've actually moved this plant upstairs to one of the bedrooms. That's got a nice window with a lot of sunlight coming in. And there hasn't been any growth as a result of being put in the sunlight, but there's been a change of coloration of the plant. It's now got a reddy brown tinge on the stems. Whereas if you look at the first video that I put, the plant was just a nice flush jade green. Now it's a jade green with a hint of brown. I'll bring it up to the video to the camera to see if you can see. I don't know if you can see, maybe not, maybe you can't see it in this light, but it's definitely gotten a brown tinge to the stems where it used to be green. And there are new shoots coming up as well. um I don't know how much you'll be able to see due to the angle of the video. But yeah, new shoots coming up. So in another week or so, this plant will be taller because there's new shoots coming up, new leaves coming up. I should actually be pruning this plant for it to grow um on a more even keel with all the branches. Um, but I'm not a big fan of pruning plants unless it's the roses outside, because you know that, you prune the roses, more comes up during the spring, which I've already done with my roses outside. But with Jade, because it seems as though every inch of the leaves are alive, and I hate killing any plant, and I can't root anything from stems or leaves, so I don't want to cut any of it off. It doesn't matter that it's heavier on one side than it is on the next. What I did do to compensate for the erratic growth and the fact that it won't be even on each side is I made sure that I used a big uh jar when I potted. And because these jade plants get to quite big, they get really, really big. So this will mean that there's enough room for growth for the next 2 or 3 years without me having to move the plant and without the roots getting too root bound. And I made sure that when put it, I put it in a wide mouth um, jar so that it's easy to get the root out when it's time to do so. But I think I've got this down pat in what I did with this jade plant. I can't believe it myself because jades are so fussy. But I think I was really lucky with this one, the way it turned out. So yeah, I'm very happy, very pleased with the way this has turned out. This didn't throw a hissy fit at all. It just was from the beginning. It just took to leca, and it's the same with the other plant that I took from it as well. That is doing quite well. No new growth with that either. And I think you know in come spring, which is now, I will start seeing growth on that one as well. And I think I will have to move that one from the jar that it's currently in, because it's in the same jar that I potted it initially when I first transferred to leca. So yes, so really pleased again with the way this has been. Yeah, so any questions, guys, don't be afraid to ask. I can tell you about my journey and what has gone well. And one of the things that I will do as well is from now on, any transfer to glass jars,